Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for this evening's transfer show and latest news. We do apologise very much for the late start. We had tech issues with Alex getting sort of needing the stakes because his headphones weren't working. Sam was sounding as crackly as she was on 60 a day. So we've managed to sort the two of them out, and hopefully we get through this show nice and easy. But listen, when you go live, it has to be right. It's got to be, we can't come on here with sort of dodgy sounds and things like that. Although, whether Sam's Pugs decide to, whatever they decide tonight for their party in the next room, God knows. But however, we are here. Thank you very much for joining us. The usual applies, guys. If you do enjoy tonight's show, give it the thumbs up. And of course, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, which is free to do so. We are so close now to 28,000 subscribers. So with your help, we'll get there. I think we're about 140 away at time of going live tonight. So we're very close. We had a good influx of subscribers from the and good views actually on the video that I did earlier on today. So thank you for all your support, guys. Don't forget to hit the bell if you do subscribe, which will let you know when we upload any videos or we put in our live show times, etc. Of course, memberships are open by hitting the join button as Alex is collapsing his green screen and everything. He's having a lovely time tonight. And you can, of course, super chat the channel if you want to make a donation, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out. That is just the $sign at the bottom of the live comments. Good evening, my fellow co-hosts. How are you?
Top.
Not too bad.
Top. Billy, don't you start. Yeah, nice try. Nice. I know you are. I know you are, you shitbag. Now, obviously, there's lots of news going around at Newcastle at the minute with regarding Joelinton's contract. Is it close? Is it not? Rumours are that it's a 4-year deal worth between 100 to 130,000 a week. I think that would be an absolutely fantastic. What's the word I'm looking for? A fantastic
Philip boost.
Investment
boost. Yes, it'll be certainly a boost to us fans who are big fans of Joelinton and want him to play and want him to sign and want him to stay here for as long as bloody possible. Now, just very recently, it's Bournemouth have announced that their sporting director Alex is leaving the club at the end of the season. Are you making anything of that at the minute?
I mean, it's literally only just dropped, hasn't it? The news. So, what's his name again? It is
Richard Hughes.
Richard Hughes, that's the one. Yeah, will leave his position at the end of the season. It's just dropped like an hour ago.
Yeah.
We'll watch this space. I think now that he's left, now that that's been announced, I think we'll definitely tack him onto the technical director shows that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll have to prioritize and do a bit more early research just in case things sort of get a bit spicier with it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think initial thoughts are probably no, but it's definitely worth having a look at.
Well, we do have our next installment of Sporting Director on Thursday night, where we look at Mr. Giles. We'll tackle him and, of course, bring you latest news again on Thursday night with that one. We have just called Friday Night Show Fan Forum because I haven't come up with a new name for it yet. However, what I am thinking about, and these guys don't know this yet, so they're going to get a little bit of a, it's possible that I may sort of coincide Fan Forum alongside TDR Friday. Now, the reason for that is I watched the Halloween show back last night because somebody put it up in our chat for Sam to watch. I don't know whether you have yet, Sam, or not, but
I certainly have.
Yeah, it was a brilliant show, and obviously those masks with Alex were just absolutely. It was an incredible piece of TV. It really was, and Billy with his clop, and honestly, it was a great show. Obviously, we had Danielle back then who dressed up as well, and it was just a laugh a minute. But what I'm thinking of doing is combining the two together and getting people on. Obviously, bring back Billy's beef because it was brilliant. Billy has a beef with everybody. Shamed by Stato was very, very popular because Stato just loves that. And then, of course, we'll have to make a new one up for Sam as well. So. It's something I'm thinking about, and because I think it was quite popular. Not to the extremes of just getting away from football. We keep it very much football based as well. But maybe have a quiz again in there and interact with you guys a lot more. Not with us, but with the people that come on, because I'll lose my temper quite a lot when I don't get the answers right, and it does not do anything very good for my health. So that's what we're thinking about. Yes, Kenzie, I have been called transvestite Dracula a lot of the time. I started that show looking like Dracula and finished off looking like Prince. So it didn't
Who
go
are Prince?
well, yeah, it wasn't very comfortable sitting in that Dracula outfit under the lights without a fan. My makeup started to melt. The hair certainly started to just. It was like something like being in something about Mary with the quiff. I don't know what was going on, but yeah. So just sort of just to combine the two, I think it's a good laugh. A lot of people enjoyed it, and we may look at doing that as well. But very, very much football based and not getting away from football. So we can sort of have a look at some funny football stories and things like that. Pedro says, Paul, lose your temper. Don't know what you're talking about, mate. Thank you. I'm very calm and relaxed at the most times. However, Billy's questions sometimes were absolutely disgraceful and aimed at me getting them wrong. But I believe on that Halloween show, I did very well. I got 9 out of 9, 2 weeks run. Well, 2 weeks of 9 out of 9, which was brilliant. But anyway, let's move on. I mean, Sam, what do you make about this Joelinton deal? I mean, it's hopefully now that Samantha, etc., not Samantha, bloody Amanda have taken it over. It looks a lot closer now.
She's certainly expedited it, hasn't she? The mighty Amanda spearheading this, and it seemed to be static for quite a while. We weren't getting any new news about anything, but things are really starting to move now with Amanda at the helm of the negotiations. I think it's terrific news. You know, I don't know if people caught the twitch from Bruno. That was a gaming platform that he was on. Somebody obviously asked the question, and he was like, "Get it signed," and it was that's what we want to hear. They've obviously got a great kinship in the team, and I think if we've got a happy Bruno, we'll have a happy Joelinton, and keeping them both together is something that I would certainly like to see for the future. So I'm buzzing about it. I think for me, it's about who's leading those actual transfer talks. If Amanda's doing the negotiation part, who's leading the transfer part? Yeah,
Sam, your mic's going mental again. Everybody's saying crackle, 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 crackle. Dear. I'll tell you what, it's mental. Do you want to try and use your other one, Sam?
Yeah, sure.
Right, I'll take you out and then just come back when you've changed your mics over.
Yeah.
So Sam will sort that out. But we can hear everybody else clearly, but Sam won't be too long. Billy, it's a good sign, isn't it? Because moving forward, we need players like Joelinton, don't we? We need them to take this club forward, because we've got so many players who are probably coming to the end of the time at Newcastle, and now it's very important that we get that kind of balance right and keep the kind of elite players.
I think it's imperative to get Joelinton signed up. I am a little bit suspicious of this news, I have to say. I think the figures seem to underestimate what he should be getting for me. I don't think he'd kind of sign for 120,000 a week. I think he'd want another 30,000 on top of that minimum. I would think, you know, with the way he's played, how crucial he is to us, how ambitious he is. So I'm not certain about the figures, whether that's true or false. I don't know, but the signs certainly do seem that they're very, very good. But I am a bit suspicious about the figures, I've got to say.
In what way? I mean, in what way would you be suspicious of the figures? Is it just the fact that it's too much, or...
No, absolutely not. The opposite way.
Right, okay.
You know, I would have thought he'd be looking for 180 and maybe negotiate. So 150 is the dancing figure for 120,000, which is 20,000 more than Matt Target.
I think we need to stop Billy talking now in case the agent's watching.
Well,
no, that's far too much.
This has come from the Twitter page, and again, is it true? Is it false? We don't know. It's simple as that.
I mean, we had a lot of big hitters on 120, so that it's not unfair to ask him to match the top earners at the club. Bruno's done more than everyone else, and is younger. has a higher ceiling, I think the current structure is fine. I think you say to Joe, we'll match you on the big boys, but not Bruno. I think that's completely fair. I think you can stick him around 120. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he was to excuse me, if he was to accept 120, then for me that's perfect. That's brilliant.
Well, it's brilliant if he does. I just
absolutely, yeah. It's just
sure
that. Yeah, it's the waiting, isn't it? And if his agent's got anything to do with it, it's normally the agents that cause all the kerfuffle and stuff. So if the agents are trying to, trying to get him a bit more money, but look, it's positive signs, which is very good for us. As long as it's not positive news, etc., then yeah, stick by that. Absolutely, 100%. Another bit of news, Alex, I want to get your opinion on was obviously Minte. He is, he's doing very well this season, obviously, but news from the club or the media who were associated with the club have said that he may go on another season loan next year. Do you find that a little bit strange that they're going to, or would you think that that's depending on how he does in pre-season?
Yeah, I think they're jumping the gun a little bit there. I think the odds-on favourite, well, not favourite, most likely decision and position of the club is to loan him out again, which I think some people might be a bit frustrated with, but I think is fine. You've got to understand his age, his rawness, and his need to learn football. He needs to go and learn his trade. So it's not a case of like what Anderson was. This is somebody that we think could maybe reach the top of sort of European level, possibly, and we need to develop him properly. And he could do with another season, in my opinion, unless he comes back and it is great. You know, I've watched a little bit of Minto recently. I watched his performance against Roma the other night. Doesn't look too bad. Discipline-wise, a lot of people are throwing their toys out the pram about positional indiscipline and rawness and not listening to instructions. I think that's a lot of people who haven't watched a lot of him play, to be perfectly honest with you, because watching him against a disciplined Roma side that large parts of the way they play is still ingrained from Mourinho from the last few years. He looked absolutely fine. He was tracking back. He was careful when to go, when not to go, and that was in a European game against a top Italian side. He's doing all right. Like, I think positionally, I think there's a lot of people who just haven't watched him, have just been complaining. It's fine, but I do think he is still super, super raw. I think our fans are ruthless. There's 20 or 30% of you out there that as soon as he runs into a player and loses the ball, you want his head on a plate, which I just think is unfair. And he will do that. He's at that age. He's very raw. He will lose the ball a lot, but he's crazy, crazy good. I think he could probably do with another loan. I think that's the best option. I know people are going to scream at the screen, but think about it the other way. If we don't, it means we'll probably bring in a winger.
Well, yeah, but I think what personally I would like to see happen as a supporter is for to get a come back for pre-season with the first team squad, see how he blends in, see how he maybe give him a couple of friendlies. But at the end of the day, if there's still that little bit of rawness there, Alex,
30,
definitely
games somewhere else.
But we have to make sure that it's right where we send him. We've got Sam back. Are you there, Sam?
Hopefully.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I've gone totally old school. I've gone classic laptop cam and wired headphones.
Well, listen, we'll people in the chat are saying to try and get a fund going for a microphone for you and stuff like that. But we'll get. Yeah, listen, it's only your second show. We'll get there.
Can I just mention one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
That comment says, I agree with that. Ping him back to Feyenoord because they like him.
Yeah, I said in the show this morning, Alex, that I'd rather see him go back to Feyenoord than go into the Championship. I think he knows Feyenoord. It'll be sort of like going home again for him, and I really do hope that Newcastle make the right choice in that regard. NUFC Ollie says, he's been a member for 10 months now. Says best channel on YouTube, and I'll always stay a member to support you guys. Thank you very, very much. And Jorgen's been a member for 10 months and says, I hope Susan is well. She's home, but she's on serious rest at the minute, and we're waiting for an ultrasound appointment. So that's the latest news. But she did see all your lovely messages on the show the other night and says a big thank you to everybody for that. It really meant a lot to us. So thank you, guys. Dan says, member for 19 months, coming up for 2 years, and always enjoy the show. Thank you very much, Dan. Billy, the problem we've got is the other one out on loan, Garan Kual, has gone the opposite way. I think I read somewhere today that he's only had half an hour's football in several weeks. He maybe doesn't look like the talent that we thought he might be.
Yeah, but as Alex has stated in the past, it was a minimal gamble, wasn't it, for £300,000?
Yeah, absolutely.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And so if he doesn't pay off, then we've hardly lost anything on it. So, he's thousands of miles from home. He's young. He's not really filled out yet. Maybe he's going to be a late bloomer. He's obviously got the technique and the talent. It's just a case of getting him to a system of football which suits his kind of his building it and the way he plays the game. Yeah, at the moment, It's not happened for him. But that's not to say it won't happen for him next year.
Yeah. Albert Tuga, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up, and thank you for supporting the channel, my friend. Keith says, good evening, TDR. Where's that gone? Never been online for a while, but we'll catch up with all your vids. Thanks, Keith. Nice to see you back again. Sam, we're just talking about Minty there, just while you were off camera. Just the stories coming out today that we may send him back on loan for another season. Alex thinks that's a good idea because, he's still a little bit on the raw side. And just get him another 30, 40 games. I agree to a point, because I think they should look at him again in pre-season. But if there is still the rawness there, then obviously send him out again. And Feyenoord would be our preferred destination again. They are interested in taking him for another season rather than the Championship. So what would you say about that?
Well, he's obviously flourishing and he's doing really well there at the moment. So long may it continue, and let's get him back when he's got some more minutes under his belt and hopefully some more goals as well. So we're getting a fully fledged player back. What I don't want to be at risk of doing is suffering myself with injury PTSD and thinking, yes, we just want them all back, when actually we're in a much better position now. Let's not panic. Let's calm the nerves a little bit and get him back when he's ready, because he's clearly doing a great job.
Absolutely. Is there any way you can turn your volume up on your mic, Sam, at all? Does it give you an option to do that on StreamYard? I'm not sure it does. I think it might.
Is that better?
Yes. Listen, don't worry, guys. Sam's got a problem with mics, so we'll sort it out. She only lives up the road from me, so if needs be, I will take her a microphone tomorrow and get that sorted. So don't worry about it. Everything is cool. So just for one night, guys, just bear with us, okay?
I mean, Alex just mentioned about if we do send him out on loan again, it means we're signing the right winger. Not necessarily the case. That might mean we go back with the same two we've got now as well.
Do you really think we'll go with the same two right wingers next season?
I don't know.
I think that's suicide if we do.
It's a possibility, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Am I muted? I was muted.
No.
You're not now?
I will buy you. I will drive to Carve and make you a roast dinner if we don't sign a right winger.
Make sure it's lamb.
We will.
Well, Sam, me and Susan will have to get you over here for a roast dinner if it doesn't come off, then, just so you're not left out. Interesting comments, Alex, to be fair. Kevin M., welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up, and thank you for your ongoing support, my friend. One guy that was mentioned today, Alex, in the show was Galeno from, is it Porto? The Brazilian, but he's a left winger as well. It's very strange how we keep getting, linked to left wingers when we really are full of them.
That's, I mean, he may or may not be on the list to look at, but he's the guy who, I think he scored the goal against Arsenal. It's that guy. He scored the Arsenal goal that really irritated all of them, which was funny. But he's, again, a just going into peak age for a winger, left wing, right foot, dribbles well, can cut in, have a decent shot. We bought two of them. Yeah. We sold a dribbly boy on the left that we didn't like. We bought two brand new ones. Yeah. We don't need any more. Like Joelinton can play wide left, Willett can play wide left, Anderson can play wide left. Isak can play wide left. And the 2 current wide left players we have, we do not need any more left wingers.
Yep.
Our scouting team seem to have an obsession with left wingers.
Yeah.
Or
the media
that are linking us with more left wingers. We don't need any more.
Yeah. Jan, thank you for your super chat. Jan thinks Edison will come in the summer.
Is he left-footed? No, he's not. He's right-footed.
I thought he was left-footed, but I don't know. But what the hell? He's a good player anyway.
Rowing, he is right. Well, FBref says he's right-footed, and I trust FBref.
Yeah. Right, a question for Sam and Billy. Sam, we'll start with you. Another player linked today, Ivan Toney. Where do you stand on him, Sam?
I do have some concerns. Like, I'm sure I recall back in the day some behavioural issues. We're coming off the back of a gambling ban as well. I mean, he's clearly flourished. Didn't do the job for us at the time. Moved on loan. Fair enough. But it's clearly done him the world of good. You know, I know that he's got some serious clubs linked and are interested. Doesn't Ivan Toney, isn't there some sort of sell-on clause where we get a bit of bit of some money back?
30%, I think it was banded around. Yeah.
So if we buy him back, like, do we get a discounted rate because it's our money anyway? I don't know how that's going to work. It's an interesting one. Yeah. He's clearly, you know, going to be a talent. He's a great centre forward, and I think it's just those issues. I feel like we're just coming back to full strength, and is he going to play nice in Eddie Howe's sandpit?
Interesting.
Can I buy in on Toney just for a sec? Because we're not going to look at him today. Yeah. I'm going to do what Billy does, because I don't know the local Cov lads. I know the local Northampton lads. Absolute scrote, not a chance.
Yeah.
I know him from when he was at the Cobblers at Northampton Town in League Two. He's you hear stories. You know, I hear things about Dele Alli as well, and his sort of time near Milton Keynes and stuff, near McDongs. But yeah, Toney, no, not a shot, not absolutely no chance. From the sort of stuff that's leaked online with what he said about Brentford, with the audacious interviews, as soon as he comes back from a ban where the team have supported him, he goes on camera and goes, "Oh, I'm kind of interested. I wouldn't mind going to a big club," and it's just ridiculously disrespectful to Brentford. He's not even our player, but the disrespect he's shown Brentford,
problems.
Not a chance. I wouldn't take him. If you offered him for free, wouldn't take him. Because he's a complete disruption, not a chance.
Yeah, he seems that way.
There's meant to be a no dickhead policy, isn't that?
Exactly.
Absolutely, Billy. Absolutely.
He fits into the dickhead kind of quota quite well, doesn't he? So absolutely not for me either.
Well, there you go.
I normally go in on players, but there's literally
every club he's been at. There's been problems.
It's not even that though. There's literal videos of him being an asshole.
Yeah,
he can't even deny it. There's proof of it. It's there forever now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Chippers, who's been a member for 2 years and 2 months. Thanks, buddy. If we sell Miggy, though, could Minte be brought into the squad? I guess we'll wait and see in the summer on that one. Kevin M's a new member. I'm not sure whether I've said that or not, but thank you for joining up. Haroldinho gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. Thank you very much, buddy. Very kind. Chippers, thank you for your super chat. Pedro Neto, anyone? And Toon Gamer with a super chat as well. Wahi will sign, in my opinion. Striker, right wing, can play. Pedro Neto's an interesting one for me, but I just he's very injury prone as well. If you look at his injuries over the last couple of years, doesn't really like playing against Newcastle. Always seems to have to come off against us, which is very interesting.
Well, he wouldn't have to play against us if he was with us, would he?
Yeah, but I just think his muscles are a little elastic.
I'm going to fact check that because I feel like we're just.
You see, I knew we'd do that. What I hear sometimes.
But we don't know that. We're just randomly saying things that we don't know.
No, I'm not randomly saying things, Alex. He's been injured for a good couple. He's had certainly 2 long-term injuries that I know about.
Now, Paul, your blood pressure.
We will check.
Hey.
Look, I actually thought that he went off Saturday with a bit of a tail between his legs attitude.
So did I. I thought he looked really pissed off. Yeah,
I didn't think he fancied it.
I mean,
the weather and what have you, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have him 100%.
Do you know what I would like to see? Like, give me some players with a bit of experience. You know, I don't want a transfer window full of, you know, kids and second choice younger players. I want some of them. I want some second choice younger players to bring that age average down, who Eddie can develop and mould to his making. That would be great. But please, can we check that they're not injury prone? I think that's a great shout, and it you know, I think by looking back, it can give us an idea about what it's going to look like moving forward. If we can get like a little peppering or a garnishing of some free transfers, that would be tremendous as well. But we need to remember we've got Alfred.
We don't do
Harrison.
frees, unfortunately.
It's
really
funny because Sam's, you're coming out with some cliches tonight with your sandpits and your salad dressings.
She's bang on, but we just don't seem to take free transfers. I don't know why.
It's mental. I mean, we had the opportunity in the winter, didn't we, to get free transfers, and we haven't done it.
I mean, we've done what, like 15, 20 free transfer shows over the last few years, and we've signed 0. We just none. It's mental. Haroldinho, gifting those 5 memberships, then becomes a member themselves. So welcome to Members Club, Haroldinho. Right, who's the first player we got on tonight, Alex? Well, it's just a little graphic for you first.
Well, hang on a minute. Baz Lank's been a member for 2 years and 2 months. Says, don't always get the live shows, but always catch up with a like. Thank you very much, Baz. Right, so you're going to prove me wrong here, Alex. That's fine. No worries.
No, I was going to prove you right.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Then carry on.
Thank you very much. I will bow. Thank you.
I wanted to fact check it first.
Yes, but Alex, are you? I just want to get this right before we go any further.
52 matches in a year.
Alex, just to get this right, is because this is a historical, thing that's happening right now. Are you actually saying I was right?
Well, I wouldn't get too carried away. I mean, he's only missed 9 games this year.
25 days off with a knock. What kind of knock was that?
Well, that must have been a hell of a knock. Knocked out, something like that. I mean, that's incredible. But there you go. That's my only concern with Pedro Neto. I would have him, but I do think that he does have a tendency to be injured.
Right, do you want a segue into the first player?
Yes, please.
Right, so my cheeky little segue into the first player is this graphic. So this got dropped today from Martin Ziegler, who doesn't seem to like us very much from the Times.
No, he doesn't.
But he spells his name Martin with a Y, so he can just go and live his own life. That's fine. Anyway, highest wage bills in the Premier League. Villa, a lot of news about Villa today. They're a bit buggered salary-wise. They're
well, I heard a lot that they may have to. They may have to sell in the summer in order to buy as well. So
funny you should say that, Paul. So wage to turnover at 89%, whereas ours, a lot of people whinging about our lack of spending, but we're all right. We've not been naughty. We're fine. 75% of wage to turnover. We've got more time to get that down to the 70, which is necessary. Aston Villa at 89%. Very much flying too close to the sun. May need to sell a homegrown asset for a decent chunk of change to make that fit. So may I present to you Exhibit A, Jacob Ramsey.
Ooh.
Purely based on the news and the fact he's been linked before.
Yes, he has.
I feel like it's an interesting shout.
Mm-hmm.
I then need to say we don't need any more midfielders. But we might sell one. I 100% think that we're going to shift someone this summer, midfield-wise. Originally, obviously, that was thought to be Joelinton. Might not be Joelinton now. I think Sean might be on the cards, possibly.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe someone. I think we maybe try and improve the quality by selling out the bottom end and improving with a bit more quality in a transfer. Selling Sean would make sense transfer-wise because obviously he's homegrown. And then
I just need to pick up on a comment from Thomas saying, he's a slightly better Longstaff, not worth the big money required. Have you watched Jacob Ramsey? Seriously?
He destroyed us like last year. Did you not watch him?
Oh, he's
on his own.
He's incredibly talented.
Well, he don't just stand in one place. He destroyed us on the left, he destroyed us on the right, and scored a goal to boot.
And you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only 22, so he's still pretty young. You give him, he's got 3.5 years before he's Bruno's age. He's got loads of time to develop with a quality squad around him. He's not too short. He's 5'11" according to FBref, so he's fine height-wise, physicality-wise. Lots of Premier League experience, playing at a reasonable level. He's also played a lot with Anthony Gordon at the England under-21s, was part of that team in the Euros, so that when they won it. He did get injured, but he was a star player until he got injured. Bit of a fat contract. He's going to cost a bit. And when I say a bit, I'm lying. He's going to cost a lot. But we might do it. If we sell a midfielder, I feel like this is a signing that it very much screams Eddie Howe. I feel like it's a good kind of vibe for how we're recruiting at the moment with your Harvey Barneses and your Anthony Gordons. It kind of feels like that. Another one who's very left side dominant, though. Very left side of midfield.
70 grand a week, though. 70 grand already at 22 years old.
We'd have to double that. So
that's a lot.
I would say we would have to double that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not quite double, but so we'll scroll down and have a look at the important bit, which is the graphic. So obviously,
sorry, Alex. Toon Gamer, thank you for your super chat. Need a number 6, not a midfielder.
I'm just going by what's been linked.
Yeah, exactly.
How doesn't think so, does he?
No.
This guy's been linked, so we're looking at him. It makes sense with obviously the stuff that's come out today with Villa. I thought I'd move this guy to the top of the list to have a look at because of that. It makes sense logically.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go to us, I think he'll go to someone because I think they need to sell him. So it's probably their most saleable asset. So it goes in as pure profit as an academy sale. So progressive carries for a midfielder at 3.5 per 90. Successful take-ons is really, really solid. Passes are really low, but he is very... I feel like he's one of those players who only tries crazy balls. Like he's either trying to beat you either with a pass or with a dribble, and he's a lot better at the dribbly bits. Yeah, but he's still very, very clever. A very, very clever player. Decent shot creating actions, well above average. Very, very high for assists. Way above average for shots total as well. Nearly 2 shots per 90 from midfield. If we change this to attacking midfield, he profiles very similarly to kind of how Gordon does. On the left-hand side. If we scroll down, so this is based on just under 2,000 minutes. So it's not just a small sample. This is reasonably how he plays. And we've got some comparisons for general midfielders. Probably more appropriate to look at both, though. So Jack Harrison obviously has been on our lists before. We know he's probably been on a scouting list of ours because we've been linked with him. Julian Brandt as well. We saw him in the second game against Dortmund. He's an absolute magician, ridiculous footballer. So some decent names on here. If we change it to attacking mids and wingers, look at the 2 names that pop up. So you got Marco Reus and then 2 of our own players. So the way he plays kind of fits in with the way we kind of play as well. Yep. So it would make sense that he's somewhere on one of our scouting lists. It just fits. In terms of, well, there's a little pie graph if you want to have a look at it. We can swap it between midfielder versus attacking midfielder. Obviously, that it drops off considerably when you convert him into an attacking midfielder because he's then being compared to wingers and productive wingers, and he's not an out-and-out winger. He's like a hybrid kind of player. How many seasons has he done so far? What are we looking at? It's a good experience. So when he was 20 years old, he's had 29 starts. Oh, God. Oh, I've lost everything. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to the top. Where are we? Domestic stats. There we go. Right. 29 starts, just under 2,500 minutes. And then another season when he was 21 years old, 31 starts. He's increasing. I think he's not been involved as much. He got that injury in the summer playing for England. But he's still playing a reasonable amount of football with 16 appearances, 8 starts. Recently, if we have a look at how he's doing at the moment, SofaScore, let's bump his value down because why not?
Yeah, like that works like a dream, doesn't it? Yeah.
The funny thing is, they say that his strength is passing, but he's profiling quite poor in passing at the moment. Yeah. So I feel like the stats have done him a bit dirty. His passing's not that bad. So we'll scroll down and we'll have a look. He's easing himself back into things. He's getting sort of just under 7s generally. He got an assist against Forest. Of course, we did look at Villa recently and they're playing a wonky 4-4-2. It doesn't end up looking like a 4-4-2 because Bailey tends to go on his bicycle quite a lot. And then Ramsey, it depends on who goes and who sits. So it doesn't always end up looking like a 4-4-2 because he plays his funny.
McGinnon, Douglas Luiz has got forward a lot more this season. So I think that's why the matches I've seen Villa in, Luiz bombs forward. Ramsey tends to sit back in the midfield, not as a number 6, but in the middle of the park.
Yeah, they're missing Kamara, aren't they? They're missing camera. And what was happening with Tielemans was playing with Ramsey and Ramsey was sat on the bench.
Yeah.
But this was his heat map for the game, so involved all up and down that left flank. He got an assist in this game with 3 key passes, so he's got reasonable vision. He had a couple of pot shots, but that didn't go on target. A few successful dribbles, 3 out of 8 ground duels. Could maybe do with beefing up. Although who was he up against? He was up against Elanga, Dominguez, Morgan Gibbs-White. So he'd got a reasonably tough time. So an important thing to note, if we go to his transfer marked, so his agency is Unique Sports Group. That's Anthony Gordon's agency. It's also Jamal Lascelles. So that's really important. And there's actually a funny little Easter egg in the agency. We've got an old NUFC player that they've got on their name. His first name shares... They share a first name with a current player in our squad. It's an Italian first name. It was an old winger.
Italian name.
Valentino Lazzaro. He's on their books as well.
Christ.
I know, you would never get that in a pub quiz, would you? So obviously he's a Brummie through and through, but we don't care. We got Mr. Everton out of Everton, so we can do anything. I mean, we've already talked about most of what's on here. Very, very well respected at international level in the youth setup. Is going to cost a lot of money, rated at 40-ish million euros on websites, but we know that's going to be 60, 70. They're going to say go fish if you bid 40, so it's going to be way higher than that. He's got loads of time in his contract, so middle name's Matthew as well. There you go. Bit of useless information.
Well, thank you for that. That's the biggest news coming out of that little segment there, that his middle name is Matthew. Haroldinho has just gifted another 10 Toon Review memberships.
Brilliant.
Incredible. Thank you, Haroldinho. That is incredible gesture. Really, really appreciate that, mate. Sam, what do you make of Mr. Jacob Ramsey? Is he somebody you'd like to see come in?
Well, what are we gonna do with him? Is it one of these things where we need to be a bit broader in terms of who we're going to look at, who's being linked at the moment? He looks like a great fit, and I love the fact that he's already got the time under the belt with Gordon. I think that's going to really help. I love it when players have already had opportunities to gel and get to know each other, so that can create some really good synergy on the pitch. Let's have a look at him. It's just that cost which is putting me off at the moment. I think that's a little bit high for his profiling, but interesting.
Billy, what do you reckon? I mean, it's the wages I worry about. You know, he's on 70k already, and Alex rightly said we'll probably have to double that. So he'd be one of the highest players at the club.
Well, I'm a massive fan of the lad. I think he's a fantastic footballer. However, it's his position. I think if we sign him to play on the right-hand side of the right 8, that would work for us. And then we'd have that dynamic where you'd have the two on. If you'd have Joe Willock on one side and Ramsey on the other, how would you defend it? The pace on both sides of the midfield would be a fantastic asset to have. I don't see him as a winger as such, but definitely as a right 8 would be brilliant. But again, expensive, very expensive wages-wise and transfer fee-wise. But I'll be up for it. I think he's a good player.
Yeah. I'm with you. So I wouldn't mind seeing him, but it's who goes. Like Sam says, it's like, where do we make room for this guy, and who's on the sell list? I mean, Longstaff would probably. It's a difficult one, Alex. But these are all the discussions that I think that the hierarchy will be having now anyway.
But there's one thing. Well, there's two things to consider. A, this is basically Anderson's position and place in this squad as a 20, 21, 22. Well, Anderson's 21, but he's 22. So that is, playing on the left side, but right-footed, energetic, promising, technically sound. That's Anderson's position in this squad currently. So if Ramsey comes in, what do we do with Anderson? Because that's literally what Anderson does right now. I know he's been injured, but people saying he doesn't fit the system, that's really unfair. I think Ramsey would fit our system, and he's not playing as much at Villa because he doesn't fit that funny system. Yeah, I think he would fit as an aggressive 8 with lots of running and dynamism. I think that's exactly what his game is. I think he's kind of out of sorts at Villa because Emery doesn't play that way.
Interesting.
He doesn't need him in that kind of role. He needs a better sort of Kamara, Tielemans. They're different profiles.
Yeah, absolutely. Baz Leng, thank you for your super chat. He says, Paul, I wasn't sure about you adding another horse, but Sam ticks all the boxes. He actually says, I want to marry her. However, she's a taken woman. Sorry to disappoint you, Baz. If I was only 6 months younger, well, she's taken. There you go. Right, who's next on the agenda? It is, well, there you go. Somebody who was featured in the show earlier on today. Right, I'm going to ask all of you. Sam, start with you. How do you pronounce his name?
Galeno.
Galeno, Billy?
Galeno.
Now, I'm coming to Alex last because obviously Alex is, he's going to tell us. I'm going with Galeno. And I'm only saying he's Brazilian, isn't he? So it's got to have that Galeno about him.
He's Brazilian, isn't he?
Like
He is
indeed. Something
indeed.
at the back of your throat.
Just like Bruno.
Yeah.
Mares.
Yeah, you're like, check on the color coke.
I mean, I wouldn't even trust my pronunciation because I speak Spanish, not Portuguese, so I'll be off. I would say Galeno, but that's probably not right. They might say it differently.
Well, he's Brazilian anyway.
He is indeed. So, I don't know why FB Ref don't have a picture of him. I feel like that's a little bit unfair. However, 26-year-old, plays for Porto, played for Braga before. Very much the Portugal man. He's been in Portugal for ages.
Yeah.
But what was their league called again? La Liga NOS. I don't know if they've changed that. They might have changed the sponsor. Other sponsors are available. Primera Liga in Portugal. He's been there for ages. He puts, when I was doing the research, he kind of puts up maxi numbers, but every season it kind of does sort of 5-ish goals, 5-ish assists, but every year.
Do you not think he's got a look a little bit of an Isak look about him, guys?
Kind of. Isak's Brazilian brother, maybe.
Yeah. Brazilian brother, yeah. Interesting.
But again, we have like a million players that can play on the left wing, and this guy's very much a right-footed left wing. I mean, this is what we brought in Gordon and Barnes to do. He's a ready-made 26-year-old hitting his peak right now. I am a very good left winger. He's scored. He's got his best return this season so far. 5 goals and 5 assists in the league, and then 9 goal contributions in the Champions League on top of that. This is his best return to date. Like, he's doing really well. His XG suggests he's actually being shortchanged in the goals department. He's hit 6.6 XG and he's only got 5, so he is being a little bit shortchanged. He's overperforming in the Champions League because he's hit some absolute pingers. And profile-wise, he's doing really well. If he runs at you with the ball, he's going to get past you with the ball. It's basically Maxi, but a little bit more consistent.
Honestly, why have you got to bring him up?
Well, it's just so people can have a point of reference.
A point of reference would be comparing him to the players that we have at our club, Alex. Not reminiscing.
Well, we don't really have that. We don't really have that. It's 5-ish goals, 5-ish assists most seasons, with a bit of flair, a bit more pizzazz as a dribbler. He's better at taking on his man, beating his fullback. Brings other players into play. Shot creating actions for teammates is super high at 4 per 90. So we're going to get 4 shots per game from him creating stuff for other people. He beats his man most of the time. He's just one of those explosive wingers. And if we scroll down and have a look, unfortunately, it's going to show us a few riffraff because the Portuguese league is considered outside of the big 5 leagues in Europe. So it's going to compare us to things like Sunderland in the Championship. So, we've got to look at it. And he profiles fairly well. But again, it depends how much you watch Sporting Kansas City and Hamburger. So, yeah.
I've watched a few hamburgers in my time, I've got to say.
I knew that was coming.
But no, there's not as much to go off. I think Everton Suarez, isn't that the guy that gets picked for Brazil? I think it is. I think that's the guy from Flamengo. Yeah. Foxy will correct me if I'm wrong. You will know who that is. You've also got... I'm clutching at straws here, guys. I mean, we know Jack Clark. We shut the front door on him. So, yeah. I mean, he's a good player.
He can play right wing as well, though. I know it's not his ideal spot, but if he can sort of play right wing, help Bruno out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, not according to websites, but according to when I've actually watched him and all of the compilations, I've seen a lot of situations where he's doing things on the right. So I'm sure he's played there. I don't know if he starts there much. It doesn't look like he starts there this season in the current format that they play.
Yeah,
I think he might have played a bit more on the right for Braga, but he's not doing for Porto.
Problem is, Sam, he's right-footed, so Eddie will play him on the left.
He likes
you know what he's like for inverted wingers and stuff, don't you? So if you're right-footed, you go on the left for Newcastle and vice versa.
But also, Eddie likes playmaking and high pressing, and he wears the number 13, which means it should be illegal, and we can't sign him. And let's do that.
Are you trying to make it easier for us to buy these players?
Yes, he does it all
I always
the time,
do it.
Sam.
I do it every time.
Yeah, it works to a T. That's why we never sign anybody.
The most impressive thing, obviously, there's the Arsenal goal 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I do need to bring your attention to that.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Apparently brilliant at the weekend against Benfica.
Well, Porto and Benfica is often quite a difficult, tight affair. Yeah. Not a 5-0. So that's mad, first off. He also got 2 goals and an assist against Benfica, which is outrageous. If I can actually get the game up, that would be great. There we go. Lineups. So you've got Papi Pepe, the old boy at the back. You've got this funny Alan Varela.
Do you know what? Pepe is going to be still playing when he's 70, isn't he? He'd just still be there. We'll be doing a transfer show when we're all in our wheelchairs and rocking chairs and licking windows and stuff, and he'll still be playing when we're doing transfer shows.
They did wheel him out for this match. You've got Di Maria on the right wing for Benfica. You've got Pepe in defence for Porto. But it was good football. You know, they've got Alan Varela. They've got some tidy up and coming young players.
Mr. Wendell at left back. Wow, there's a blast from the past.
First name Wenderson, by the way. Wenderson Galeno. We have another name.
Wow.
Let's get rid of the little advert. So all the action left wing.
His first name's Wenderson. I'm not having that. I'm not having that for him. Nah. I can't have a player for Newcastle with the first name of Wenderson.
What do you want when the boat comes in?
Imagine if we had a Henderson as well.
No, I'd prefer but I'd prefer when the beat goes on, Billy. Hey!
Oh.
But yeah, 2 goals, 1 assist. Pretty mad. What did he do? 3 shots on target. He tried 5 total. He didn't actually complete any dribbles, which seems mad considering his output in this game. I do need to go and watch this because it looks like a really exciting game. Pretty good physically for a little slender winger, but really exciting. But again, I feel like I'm going to refuse to go any further than this. Hang on, let's get a picture. There you go. There he is. I feel like I'm just going to flat out refuse to do any more discussions on him because
Alex, I put this up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I feel like there's no point in us going any more down this road because it's just pointless. It makes no sense.
I don't understand. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this obsession is with left wingers and Newcastle be linked with them. I don't know.
Unless we sell Barnes and completely give up on him. Like I don't see a universe.
Well, I'm not going to spend 40 million on Barnes and give up on him after a season. That would be absolutely crazy.
Wouldn't it? For 2/3 of it, yeah.
Exactly. Billy, what do you make of Wenderson?
Well, clearly a fantastic footballer, but again, the left wing is really not what we want, is it? It's a place we're well covered in. So I just see this as lazy media speculation for me.
Well, apparently you say that, Billy, but there has been the reports did say that we actually had scouts at the game at the weekend, the Porto Benfica game. So it might not be as far fetched as we're thinking, but what he has got now, Sam, is a 60 million euro release clause. Porto did state that they'd had a 30 million euro offer for him in the winter window, but they wouldn't say whose or which club it was. And since then, he's agreed a new contract with a 60 million euro release clause. So we can get him for 60 million. We pay the release clause, he comes. But it seems to be like we're just queuing up left wingers and seeing who's the best one out the lot of them.
Exactly. Unless there's real concerns over Barnes, that Gordon's flash, like absolutely brilliant. He's outstanding. We love his work rate. He's really settled in Eddie's system. And then we've got Barnes as well. Yes, a little bit, shaky on the return, but I think deserves the time to get back to full match fitness. You know, I think we've got 2 great left wingers there. Please don't queue any more up. Get me a centre forward. Please get me a centre forward.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think we desperately need to improve the right-hand side. As much as I love Jacob Murphy, and Mickey
You're going to hate the next player then.
fantastic. And Miggy coming on for like a 15,
Jeremy
20...
Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn, yeah, it probably is. We'll not go there, Billy. I just think we need an elite player on that right-hand side. And I don't know whether, Eddie would bring him in to play as a right-sided forward. I don't know.
Can I just mention, there's loads of people saying in the chat about getting Arda Güler on loan.
Yeah.
100% yes, because we did transfer shows on this boy before he left for Madrid.
Yeah.
And dear God, can that boy play football? He's a freak.
Is he getting much time on the pitch for Madrid, though?
Not as much. No,
I haven't seen him mentioned very much at all. Yeah, that's interesting.
He's a baby. It's Real Madrid. You don't move at that age and play straight away. What was he? Was only 17.
Hello, Jude Bellingham. Hello.
Oh,
but
he's a freak though. He's a one-off freak.
Yeah, but the wingers that they've got and attacking players, of course you're not. I mean, unless you're a centre forward. But
yeah. By the way, speaking of Jude Bellingham, I don't know whether you guys saw this after the game at the weekend. Despite all that crap that went on after the game, he took time with a couple of kids outside just outside the ground before he was getting on the bus or something. Absolutely incredible. This guy really has his head screwed on right. He's not letting the big time go to his head or anything. He's just a down to earth player. God, could you imagine in years to come we get Bellingham in when we're winning everything? I mean, it would be.
He's a class act. That's class. And I don't know if anybody saw the post with Bruno supporting the Newcastle Foundation as well, and going to there. I thought he did an amazing job, and he looked like he had the time of your life. And I think that really sets people apart who actually are really interested in the club and want to see the longevity by taking the time out to do special things like that. So hats off to both of them.
Definitely.
But he's definitely staying. I mean, Sam mentioned Bruno's Twitch appearance earlier. Did you see, though, he was singing Geordie to Lucas Paqueta while he was on stream playing Call of Duty. So
I love the way that he wears his own merch. Like he's got Bruno t-shirts on and everything.
Jamie Vardy just scored for Leicester against Sunderland.
Oh, what a shame. Sunderland are not going to make the
Paul,
playoffs.
don't you wear your own merch?
Touche.
Well, actually, Billy probably wears the merch more than me. Mine goes in the wash, and I don't see it for 3 weeks. So it's one of those things.
Jan wants us to talk about Kubo, so he's super chatted just so we'll talk about the Japanese youngster.
Well, he was mentioned in one of the shows I did last week, Kubo. A very good player, but again, we did speak briefly about him in the show, in one of the live shows last week.
He's on the list. He's not in today's list, but we promised Jan we will do Kubo because he's amazing. We talked about him briefly, obviously, before we got Isak because they played together. So we will do Kubo. We promise. Just not today.
Thank you for your super chat, Jan. He is on the list. Right. Next one up. It's the Leaf.
The Leaf.
And funny enough, it's down our left side again.
So, FB Ref need to fact check because he's not 5'5.5". Everywhere else says he's about 6 foot.
Yeah, he's 6 foot. He's 6'1" or something. I think he is. He's a big lad. He's definitely not 5 foot. He's definitely not 5'5.5". Why do people add halves in? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
we do need to change that.
I mean,
Gulliver.
Well, hang on. I mean, Billy, you're what, 5'3"?
10.5.
Sam, I'm guessing that you're probably around 5'6". Alex, of course, is only 4'9", bless him. But he's a lot taller than that. But this kid is a talent, Alex.
I mean, I've seen him play once this season, so I'm gonna have to go on general information we've got here. He looked okay when I saw him play. He's a lively left winger who gets up and down the left side. I mean, that sound like I'm Paul Merson analysing someone. Yeah, he's a lively left back, but it's the assists, it's the constant crossing, and it's the providing for other teammates. So 12 assists this season is pretty bonkers, and I think it's more than that in all competitions. It is off quite a lot of minutes, but still he's a fullback. And he's 24, so he's just kind of coming into sort of peak ages. He's not, it's where he's still got legs and he's still rapid, but he's old enough now where he starts to really understand how the game works. A proper left-footed left back. And again, I know we've currently got Dan Burn plus Target plus potentially Lewis Hall.
Yeah.
Obviously,
by the way,
there is
can I
news...
just mention, Alex, that this kid is a Geordie as well. He's brought through Wallsend Boys Club, so he is a Newcastle fan and a Geordie. So
players come through that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was to be discussed when we get to his transfer marks. But yeah, you are right. There's a reason he would come to the club beyond just a general transfer. He's from the region, so that always helps. What was my last point? I don't know. You distracted me. Right, we'll have to scroll down and have a look at the data. So, data. Here are some good things. He provides 5 shots per 90 for other teammates. This is good. This is really good.
This record's bonkers, by the way. It is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, but if you're a fullback and you're what you're doing is making teammates have 5 shots, that's great. I mean, 5 shots just overall is really good anyway. But if one player is making other people get 5 shots, that's great. As a fullback, that's really, really tidy. Again, very energetic. Could probably do with pumping up these numbers a little bit defensively. It very much depends on how Ipswich are playing. I mean, from what I've seen, they seem to play in a 4-2-3-1. They do play with a flat back 4 with him getting up and down the left wing. So this is based on 2,800 minutes. We'll have to take this with a pinch of salt, again, because it's comparing to other leagues. So you've got, unless anybody's watched any Ludwig Augustusson at Anderlecht this year, I haven't, so I can't really give you much of a point of reference. Although I do know him, but that's through Football Manager, so we'll ignore that bit. How's he done career to date? Career to date, so Leeds, we've got some Leeds in there. Can I scroll out a little bit? Thank you. So we had 43 appearances last year in the Championship. 43 of those were starts. So he's the last 2 years have been very much, he is first teamer. He's playing all the minutes. He's the guy at left back, which is great. 14 assists last year as well. So definitely not a flash in the pan for providing for teammates, with 3 goals as well. He's not managed to break that duck this year, but a hell of a lot of goal contributions as a fullback. Very, very, very impressive. It looks like he wasn't too shabby at youth level for Leeds as well, when Leeds were taking some Premier League 2 trophies. And he was part of the Championship winning Leeds team. So, okay. So he's been part of a very positive setup growing up. Why has he got so many assists, you say? And why are they playing this way? Well, it might be because they picked up this man from Bournemouth, Ipswich did. So they might be trying to throw the ball at the big lump up front. Can I just point out, Kiefer Moore, the Welshman's middle names are Roberto Francisco. Bizarre. I don't know why I'm obsessed with middle names today, but I thought that was really odd. So he's got 5 goals in the Championship. So I'm presuming there's a bit of throw the ball at Kiefer Moore. If anybody's watched any Ipswich this year, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does look like there's very much a hit the big guy thing going on.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't do anything enough. You watching them now?
Yeah, Ipswich are playing tonight as well, aren't they? Yeah.
So left back, there you go. Place of birth, Newcastle. There he is, and they've got his height down as 1.82 centimeters. So yeah, he's definitely a lot taller than 5'5".
Why can't everybody just do feet and inches? Why does it always have to be meters and centimeters, and then we've got to convert it? It's so annoying, by the way.
It is. Football Manager is even worse, because Football Manager does 6 foot, but then it will put it in kilograms. It will mix it, which is bizarre. You got to pick a metric and go with it. So he's got I'd say quite a lot. He's got, at the end of this year, he'll have 1 year left on his contract, but the club have an option to extend that for a further year. Current market value at 4 million. Flexible positionally, but again, we were told that about Lewis Hall, so we'll see. Cheap, young. I say young, 24. He's not
24.
Young,
yeah, he's not a kid anymore.
It's right. We've got to appreciate that we're going to lose Paul Dummett. So Paul Dummett is gone at the end of this season. So we've got a left-sided centre half / fullback on the left who's aging out, who's going. We need to replace him in the overall squad count. It's cheap. It would replace him in the squad count. Yeah. Again, people saying we don't need him, he's not good enough. You're missing the bigger picture. We can't replace everyone in the squad with really expensive players. We have to pick up some bargains here and there. So we can't just buy all the 17-year-olds and put them in the first team. That doesn't work. So this is somebody that would slot in and I think would be an upgrade, might see the pitch a lot more than Paul Dummett has done in the last 2 years, and is doing a good job at the moment, playing a lot of football.
Yeah. Got a super chat coming there while you were talking from Kari. Thank you, Kari. Antonio Nusa we should go for. I think Alex would love him. Possibly. Sam, he looks like a player, but again, down the left-hand side. But it seems like a left-back who can cross a ball and find the target.
You know what, for me, we need players who can pass Isaac the ball. Like that for me has to start happening. Like Isaac doesn't have enough movement properly for my taste. I would prefer that. So we need to get the ball to him. And it seems that this it seems that this guy's got the talent in order to do that. You know, bring him in as an experienced second. So I know earlier I said, you know, get me some second choice younger players that we can develop. But if he's got experience, a decent price tag, then I think Alex is absolutely bang on. It's a really good thought out replacement for Dummett.
I think 15 million, Billy. You know, it's not a bad price if we can snip him for that.
It's a good price. I'm watching him now. He's touched the ball once in 7 minutes. And the time he had it, he just kicked it straight to touch, trying to pass the winger, which ain't a great sign. But
well, that's out then.
There's the Grim Reaper.
Very Dan Burn-esque, let's just say that.
Yeah.
However, he's about to get the ball, and he didn't give it him. He looks a good player. From what I've seen of him before tonight, of course, this game just started. Yeah, another one that fit into the squad nicely. Not too dear. So I'd be interested.
Yeah.
I do have one point, by the way, Paul, because I think we're probably running out of time to do another player. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to put this up very, very quickly.
Yep.
So we are going to look at Edison again from Atalanta, the midfielder. So just a quick shout out to this. He's playing tomorrow night, Sporting against Atalanta. You can go and decipher for yourself if you think he's any good, because we'll do him on the next transfer show. And then it means for people, instead of me just surprising everyone, it means you get a chance, if you get some time, to go and have a look at how he plays live. So Sporting against Atalanta tomorrow. It's a really interesting game anyway. These are the kinds of teams that you watch to get pickups from because it's cheaper. You know, you've got Cooper Miners in there. You've got Ruben Amorim, the Sporting manager's playing really exciting football linked with Liverpool. Gasperini at Atalanta. You've got loads of young players in there. So it'll be a really exciting game anyway in the Europa League. And you can watch Edison.
Well, there you go. So we will be doing Edison on another show indeed. Right. Thank you very much for watching tonight, guys, on this Monday night. Well over 900 again, which is incredible viewing figures for the channel. So thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that signed up to memberships. Haroldinho with his incredible gifts of membership. Thank you so much for that. And super chats, etc. Thanks to the mods, and thank you to Alex, Billy, and Sam. And we will see you all again very soon. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Monday night, guys. Take care.
How are the lads and lasses?
Thanks all.
Come back and check on some green.